Hello, children. Let us see Unit 4, 4.3 Intellectual Rubbish by Bertrand Russell. In part 1 video, we will be uh, completing the warming up activity. Before we start with the warming up activity, let us ponder on today's thought. Most of the mistakes in thinking are inadequacies of perception rather than mistakes of logic. Perception means the ability to notice or understand something, a particular way of looking at or understanding something, or an opinion. Logic means reasoning or screening. Let us learn about the author. Bertrand Russell was a British philosopher, logician, and social critic, and received a Nobel Prize for Literature in 1950. He published more than 70 books and about 2000 articles. During World War, he was a full-time political agitator, a person who tries to persuade people to take part in political protest, who campaigned for peace. He also supported Zionism and opposed the Vietnam War. Bertrand Russell also appeared in a cameo, a small part in a film or play that is usually played by a famous actor, cameo role in the Hindi anti war film Aman, which was released in India in 1967. Zionism, what does it mean? A movement for the re-establishment and the development and protection of a Jewish nation in what is now Israel. It was established as a political organization in 1897. Let us see the central idea of the art lesson. Bertrand Russell was born on 18 May 1872 at Ravenscroft, Britain. He was a British philosopher, logician, mathematician, historian, writer, social critic, political activist, and a Nobel laureate. In this article, he highlights the vices of the human mind that hamper logical thinking. Let us begin. Open your textbooks. 4.3 Intellectual Rubbish, page number 93. Question 1. How will you react in the following situations? Your science teacher tells you plants exposed to the sunlight grow faster than those always in the shade. Now, how will you react to this? Your teacher told you, and what will be your thinking for this? You will accept what the teacher said, or you will question. Now, children, if the science teacher tells you this, how you will write? That is, that plants exposed to sunlight grow faster than those always in the shade. uh, Naturally, what you will do, you will believe your teacher, and because teacher will explain the scientific reason behind the proper growth of plants in sunlight. And when the teacher is teaching you, she is giving you the valid reason, she is giving you the scientific reason, so you will learn from her, isn't it? Think of this answer and write it on your own. We have already discussed it right now, so you will complete it in your books. Let us move on to the next question. Your aunt tells you not to go for a job interview because it's a no moon day, that very same day. Now, children, what will you do if your aunt, she stops you from going to interview just because it is no moon day? No moon day means what? Amavasya. Okay, so will you really obey her or not? Because it is a kind of superstition. You know how important your job is, your interview is. So, are you just going to follow the instructions or advice given to your aunt of not going? You will stay at home or you will go, because it is there should be certain logic behind it. One shouldn't believe in such kind of superstitions, and for us our job is important. So when you write this particular answer in your textbook properly. Because whatever aunt said, it is a kind of superstition, right? So see that you do not believe in superstitions, and your job interview is more important than the unknown effects of a no moon day. So you will write keeping as first person singular, that is I. If my aunt tells me not to go for a job interview because it is a no moon day, I shall definitely not obey her, because I do not believe in such superstitions. And for me, the job interview is more important than the unknown effects of a no moon day. So always remember, when you are writing these answers, you will write in first person singular, that is I. Keeping me, my, I. So these, you will make use of these words or in your sentences. Next one. Your friend argues with you that Mount Everest is not the tallest peak in the world. How will you react to your friend? Now, children, we all know for years that Mount Everest is the tallest peak in the world. So many years we have been learning and studying these facts. Now, and then above all, we all have read in several books or on the net. Therefore, when the friend argues with you about it, so you need to counter argue and even show the research papers or whatever research is there on the net or the books. You can show your friend and just argue with him, and your answer will be, it should be in first person singular subject, that is, you can say that I have known for many years that Mount Everest is the tallest peak in the world. I have read about it in several books and on the internet. Therefore, when a friend argues with me about it on being the tallest peak, I shall counter argue and even show him or her the research work or the data or facts that are there from the book or the internet. Let us move on to the fourth question. A stranger at your door claims to be a magician and promises your mother to double all her silver jewelry into gold. Now, is it possible, children, when such kind of people come to your doorstep and tell you, are you really going to believe on such people? No, they all are frauds, they all are thieves, they can be robbers, whoever. So we do not have to believe them, and we even don't have to open the door or the safety lock that is there. Be very safe. So really this sounds a little funny to me. I will definitely not believe in the person who is coming and giving such kind of false advices and asking for the silver jewelry to be turned into gold, and we shouldn't allow such kind of people or person inside our house, or rather I won't allow such kind of person inside my house. Children, write all these questions on with pencil in your textbook. Moving on to the next set of the activity. What do you notice about the following pairs of words? Act naturally, liquid gas, open secret, sound of silence, sweet sorrow, original copy, only choice, growing smaller. Now, when we observe these words, we can say that they are pair of opposites, like open secret. And here we have few more. Act naturally, liquid gas. Now liquid is there and gas is there, so all these words, they contradict each other, they oppose each other. Open secret, either it can be secret or it will be open. How can it be an open secret? So these words are a pair of opposites, like the open secret. These are contradictory terms which appear together. They are used to create humor or laughter for the reader. Such pairs of words used together and which contradict each other are called oxymorons. What are they called? Oxymorons. Now try to add a contradictory word to the following. Listen carefully and you can make a note in your book with pencil. First one. What a dash mess you have got us into. So, what a clear mess. CLEAR. Clear mess you have got us into. Next one is, it's a dash imitation of a diamond necklace. It's a dash imitation, real imitation. It's a real, REAL, real imitation of a diamond necklace. Next one is, my trip to Mathiran was a dash holiday. My trip to Mathiran was a working holiday. WORKING, working holiday. Next D is, with such heavy makeup, she looks pretty ugly. Now just see, pretty ugly. Either she'll look pretty or she'll look ugly. So these two words, they contradict each other. Pretty, ugly. Next one. A dash crowd gathered to see the magic show. A small crowd gathered to see the magic show. A small crowd gathered to see the magic show. Now there's a note. Contrasting words that go together are examples of the language device called oxymoron. Children, let us learn few more things about oxymoron. Oxymoron, one oxymoron example is deafening silence, which describes a silence that is so overpowering it almost feels deafening or extremely loud, just as an actual sound would. Oxymorons are often used in everyday conversation and in a breadth of writing, such as literature, poetry, and songwriting. Another one is, an oxymoron is a figure of speech containing words that seem to contradict each other. It's often referred to as a contradiction in terms. A common oxymoron is the phrase, the same difference. This phrase qualifies as an oxymoron because the words same and difference have opposite meanings. Children, in our part 2 video, we will begin with the explanation of the lesson. Thank you.